Hello, my Physique here. Today we'll be talking about bulletproofing your shoulder joints. Shoulder injury is definitely one of the most common injury in the gym, and having such an injury will prevent you from doing any kinds of upper body workouts such as benching and rowing. You may be asking, why is this joint so prone to injury? That's a great question actually. In anatomy, usually greater range of motion means decreased stability. So as you can see, shoulder has such a good range of motion. It's supposed to be a good thing, but the stability decreased. So when you're doing exercises, it's actually not very stable at all. In fact, your shoulder is stabilized by your rotator cuffs right here. So the best way to bulletproof your shoulder is not to strengthen any of the muscle that you see right here. It is actually to strengthen your rotator cuff. The rotator cuffs is a group of small muscles underneath your shoulder that are often neglected in training. It is 4 sets of small muscles that stabilize your shoulder during lifts, namely the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, subscapularis, and teres minor. Subscapularis helps with internal rotation, which we already do a lot, so we don't need to strengthen that specifically. The other 3 rotator cuff muscles help with external rotation. Here's what most online programs lack. The rotator cuffs muscles are very small muscles, so you should always use lighter weights. So light that it might even be embarrassing. But hey, gains over ego. Before we get to our first exercise, I just want to show you the wrong version first. I see a lot of people do this in the gym to warm up their rotator cuff muscles. However, it's not very effective because of physics. The force of gravity is pointing down, whereas the rotational force is horizontal. You're not actually working against the gravity there, so it's not really great for activating your rotator cuffs. Instead, do it on the ground. This study shows that lying external rotation works primarily the teres minor and infraspinatus as they exhibit very high EMG activities. See how the arrows change now? Gravity still points downward, but now our rotational force is pointing up. Make sure to feel the squeeze at the top and control it on the way down. If you notice that your elbow drifts around or your shoulder activates excessively, try adding a towel or cloth under your elbow. Here's what happens when the weight is too heavy and your delts take over. The second exercise is the standing external rotation. This helps you stabilize your shoulder during any overhead work, such as overhead presses. This standing version works because we're working against the gravity. Let's take a look. The gravity arrow points down, whereas the rotational force points up. To do this exercise correctly, we want to have our elbows at shoulder height and rotate without moving the elbow. The third exercise works best in what's called a scapular plane. Please see the picture below. It's roughly a 30-degree angle from coronal plane. In this EMG study of 3 common shoulder rehab exercises, we can see that the full hand does a very good job at working out the supraspinatus. This is the front view of the exercise. Please notice that I'm doing it in the scapular plane. Make sure that you do it with straight arms using light weights and go up to about shoulder height. This is the side view, also in scapular plane. If the weights are too heavy, you might shrug and work your upper traps instead, which is not what we want. Also, before I finish here, I repeat, please use lighter weights, as these are very small muscles and you don't need a 25-pound plate on it. I recommend doing the entire routine 3 times a week and put it at the end of your workout. Why put it at the end? Well, if you put it at the beginning, by the time you get to your main lift, for example, bench, you would have already been tired out. Your muscles can no longer stabilize you, so it actually does the opposite effect of stabilizing your shoulder, which is not worth it. It puts you at higher risk of injury. However, if you want to just do a little bit of warm-up, a couple of reps beforehand, before your main lift, that's totally fine. Just don't do like the complete thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel below. Have a great day.